So yeah, yesterday I pretty much finished a project from my regular art class, and today I was allowed to take it home. So yeah, and here it is. So basically, I think near the end of quarter 3 of school, we pretty much had 2 assignments. Only one of them would be due at the end of quarter 3, and it would be whichever one we decided to do first. But yeah, there were 2 projects that were assigned to us around the end of quarter 3 or something. And they were a sort of brick project and the Nighthawks project. Like, for the Nighthawks project, it's essentially just like us making our own version of the Nighthawks painting. This one in particular. And yeah, the first one I decided to do was the brick project, where basically we'd kind of draw like these sort of rectangles, I guess, and erase some of them to sort of look like a brick wall that was broken. And we could just draw whatever, as long as it was school appropriate. For here, I think, because, like, around when I was making this, I think I was either close to finishing SSSS Gridman, or I finished it. Like, as of the time I'm recording this, I did finish the series. But, like, I mean when I was working on this. I think I either finished the series, or was really close to finishing it. And, yeah, because of that, I kind of decided to sort of have this based off of SSSS Gridman. And for those of you who don't know what that is, how could you not know what it is? It's essentially become popular within the kaiju community and the anime community when it came out. I mean, granted, it became popular in both communities for different reasons, but you get my point. But yeah, for whatever reason you don't know what it is, it's basically an anime series that was based around Gridman, who was a character created by Subaraya Productions. And I guess from what I understand about the history of the Gridman character, from what I understand, somewhere in the early 90s, that's when the original Gridman series came out in Japan. And then I think later on, it got released in the United States as Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, I think it was. And then later there was Gridman Sigma, and after that there was a short animated film, Gridman film by Studio Trigger, and then after that we got SSSS Gridman. That's what I understand of the whole history of the franchise or something. And obviously the kaiju I went with was Devadadan, I think that's its name. Other kaiju I considered using include Gulgilas, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anti from episode 3, I forgot to mention Gulgilas was from episode 1. And Boojak from episode 9. And I went with Devadadan, the kaiju from episode 2, because I just thought it would be the coolest looking one for the project. And this was the result. So in terms of drawing, I pretty much drew Devadadan in my typical art style. I wanted to sort of make the weird triangle thing that his eye is on to look somewhat 3D-ish. So I pretty much added like a little extra line to sort of represent like the top of the triangle or whatever it was. And I even colored a darker shade of blue. And also the black markings, like, they aren't necessarily the same pattern, but, you know, I really don't think a lot of people would notice. It still looks cool anyway. Decided to have it using the laser, obviously, and there's the bricks, of course. And, like, in terms of coloring, it may be kind of hard to see, but I did do, like, a light blue for, like, the sky. The bricks were colored like a brown color, while these little parts were like used like a lighter color pencil. I colored the buildings like a grayish color. The beam was like a blue color. I even colored the lips that he has. But yeah, I really like how this looks. And something I also wanted to do is, like, you'll notice like the glowy parts in the black stripes. Something I noticed within the model is that, like, as they got closer to the chest, they were more purple, while the glowy parts that were farther from it were more like a bluish color, or even a greenish blue color in case of the tail. So I kind of went with something like that, where I colored them. I didn't paint them obviously, but I colored them blue and then green, and I think blue again to sort of give off that bluish green look. And yeah, this was the result. And I'm really pleased with how it looks. And yes, I did draw something related to SSSS Gridman that wasn't Rika Takarada or Akane Shinjo. So yeah, for those of you who thought that everyone who watched the show went crazy for Rika and Akane, you can officially say how wrong you are, because surprise, surprise, there are some people who watch the show that also really like the kaiju. Okay, if that came across as me stereotyping people, I apologize, but still, I think people should wake up and realize who the true Lord and Savior of this world is. As for my Nighthawks project, I didn't start it yet, although I did have a couple of ideas. The first idea I had in mind would be SSSS Gridman themed, to kind of sort of go along with this one. And even then, I had three different ideas for the SSSS Gridman idea. The first idea was to just have like the Gridman alliance, so Yuta, Sho, and Rika. The second SSSS Gridman themed idea I had for the Nighthawks project was to have Hibiki, Alexis Carib, and Akane. This idea would of course be based off of a scene in episode 7, I think it was. The third version I thought of was to use Akane, Alexis, and Anti. That's kind of mainly because I really liked Anti's character. I thought he was cool. Aside from Gridman, the other main idea for the Nighthawks project that I kind of thought about using was one with the characters of Puella Magi Magica Magica, a magical girl series, and despite the art style, what the art style may suggest, this is not a lighthearted series. It's pretty dark. I am kind of leaning toward the Magica Magica idea, although maybe I could also go for the Gridman idea if I have enough time.